have more news to get to back here at home. And let's go to Madeleine Rivera for more on Vice President J.D. Vance's trip to Greenland today. Hi, Maddie.
Good morning, Carly and Todd. There have been a few changes to this itinerary. This was originally billed as Second Lady Usha Vance's first solo engagement. She was supposed to visit some of Greenland's historical sites and watch a national dog sled race. Now the Second Lady will be joined by her husband, the Vice President, of course, National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, Energy Secretary Chris Wright, and Utah Senator Mike Lee. They'll be heading to the Bidufik Space Base, the military's northernmost installation. They're expected to get a briefing on security issues and meet with service members. Here's President Trump talking about the importance of Greenland.
We need Greenland for national security and international security. So I think we'll go as far as we have to go. We need Greenland, and the world needs us to have Greenland, including Denmark. But if we don't have Greenland, we can't have great international security. If you look at the ships outside of Greenland, China, Russia, places that we have to be there.
Danish officials have rejected the president's interest, saying the semi-autonomous Danish territory is not for sale. Carly and Todd.
Madeleine Rivera live for us in Washington. Maddie, thank you. Let's bring in former Deputy National Security Advisor and Vice President of National Security at the Heritage Foundation, Victoria Coates. Victoria, good morning to you. So you heard the president there saying that we need to take Greenland by any means necessary. What do you think he means by that?
Well, Carly, good to be with you. I mean, looking at the map that you were just showing, if you look at the northern United States, you can see Alaska and Greenland are almost like bookends on either side of the United States. This is very necessary to us in terms of our security in the Arctic. It's also very necessary in terms of natural resources. And Greenland is very rich in those. And important to note that the president hasn't said that they're just going to take it by force. I mean, the whole purpose of this visit is to make a connection with the people of Greenland, to learn more about what's there. But make no mistake about it, this is critical to the national security interests of the United States.
Yeah, on that connection front first, has not been successful yet. The people of Greenland certainly need convincing. The Vice President and the Second Lady were actually supposed to attend this dog sled race, and their invitation was pulled over anti-American sentiment. And the new Prime Minister of Greenland has said, we don't want to be Americans. We also don't want to be Danes. We want to be Greenlanders. So what about that, the convincing them aspect of all of this?
I think it'll be an economic issue for them in the end, that the partnership with the United States will be enormously lucrative to them as well as to us. And so I think, you know, it is a show of good faith to have the Vice President, the Second Lady, the National Security Advisor all go, a little bit like Secretary Rubio going down to Latin America on his first trip, to demonstrate that this isn't just words. This is actually a commitment on the part of the administration to try to work, in this case with the people of Greenland, to our mutual benefit. So, you know, yes, the itinerary changed, these things happen, but at the same time, I do think, as with many other such localities in the past, this is something that we can get done.
So you really do think that over the next 4 years, by the end of Donald Trump's term, the United States will acquire Greenland and get those two bookends?
Well, I think we will have a very strong vested interest there. And, you know, we can think a little bit about what the president has proposed for Ukraine. You know, that we're not going to send troops in, but we are going to have the mineral rights deal. We're going to have the nuclear deal. This gives the United States vested interests in the country. And again, it's to our mutual benefit. Right. This isn't just our taking something over. All
right, Victoria, let's also talk about the war in Gaza, because ceasefire negotiations there are at a complete standstill. But for the first time since the war began, right now, thousands of Palestinians are actually rising up in the Gaza Strip and protesting against Hamas, saying we do not want this war anymore and we want Hamas out of the region. So with that as the backdrop, the U.S. has reportedly proposed a new ceasefire deal in exchange for American hostage Edon Alexander. The terms of that proposed hostage or a ceasefire deal are a little unclear, but one line is Alexander's return hinges on President Trump calling for calm in Gaza and resuming negotiations over a broader ceasefire deal. So what about those protests in Gaza and this effort to get Alexander home?
Well, it's not entirely clear to me, Carly, if they're protesting because they're unhappy with that they haven't won the war by their terms, or if they're unhappy because Hamas is still in power. But either way, it shows you that Hamas is not 100 feet high in the Gaza Strip, and that there could be another option for the people of Gaza. So I'd go back to what President Trump said in January. Maybe there is another way for them. Maybe they might like to leave Gaza for a period of time while the Strip is rebuilt. I know that a couple hundred are being taken to Indonesia on work permits to do construction work. I mean, perhaps that is the sort of option that the people of Gaza would like, because right now they can't leave. I think it is a top priority for the administration to get John Alexander back. Yeah. He is the last living American that's still in captivity in Gaza, and so that has to be a major priority to get him out while he's still alive. And I think Hamas needs to realize that President Trump, who's been talking about this issue very forcefully since December, rather, is very, very serious about it. Yeah, and they have to get these people back.
Yeah, great point there. And for the people of Gaza, the Palestinians, to rise up against Hamas, no matter their reasoning, proves that the terror organization truly is in a very weakened position right now. So something certainly to follow. Victoria, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.